The art of the self-portrait. Before cameras, before phones, before social media, self-portraits have literally been around for centuries. Famous painters like Van Gogh, Frida Kahlo, and Rembrandt, who painted over 80 self-portraits of himself throughout his whole lifetime, use their canvases to create self-portraits as a form of self-expression. Then when photography was invented, the impulse was the same. People wanted to capture themselves. The greats like Vivian Maier and Cindy Sherman use self-portraiture as a way to, of course, self-expression and a way to storytell. And now today, everyone has a camera at hand. We are taking selfies everywhere, from the bathroom to our cars, concerts, vacation, literally everywhere. Sometimes it's aesthetic, sometimes it's just because you want to capture the moment or the memory, or because you're feeling yourself, but the impulse to capture your own presence is ancient. I think self-portraits are a beautiful art form, and unfortunately, it's what gets me the most crap on social media. I don't know why, because taking your own photo is pretty difficult, and especially on film, but I don't even care. Haters are gonna hate. And I'm gonna look back when I'm old and be like, damn girl. I'll probably actually still be taking self-portraits when I'm old and being like, damn. We'll see. When I was doing more makeup and fashion content, I taught myself how to take my own photo using my digital camera. And it was a lot easier doing self-portraits digitally than on film, because most of my digital cameras has like a little flip up screen so I could actually see myself. But when I got into film photography, I was like, this is a challenge, but I figured out a way to efficiently do it, and I don't gatekeep, so I wanted to show you guys my whole self-portrait process. Hopefully this video helps you guys out if you wanted to take your own photos on your film cameras. I love to share how I do things, and yeah, let's just get into it. Okay, depending on what film camera you're gonna use, I highly recommend cable shutter releases. My very first film camera, and I feel like a lot of people have this camera, is the Canon AE1 program. This is where I learned how to take self-portraits on film. On the shutter button, it has a little screw, and that is where I screw in this cable shutter release. You just screw it in, and then you're able to fire off the shutter with this like pumpy thing, and the cable is long. Then when I got this camera, the Mamiya 645 AFD, it does have a little screw where you could plug in a cable shutter release, but the one that I had didn't work. So I had to do some research, and there's a little button that comes off right there. And this one actually needs an electronic cable shutter release, which kind of sucks because I couldn't find a really like long one. So I just have this one, and then you just press the button and it'll fire off the shutter. Just do your research on what camera you're gonna take your self-portraits on, because then when I got the Nikon F100, it does not have the little screw guy right there. So I had to just look up the instructions, and this also takes a cable or an electronic cable shutter release, and I got this one on Amazon. I just looked up the type for my camera, and then this little thing screws off and it plugs right in, and I'm able to fire off the shutter with this. And by all means, you can just use the self timer on the cameras, but I use both. I use the cable shutter release to fire off the shutter with the self timer, so I have time to strike my pose. And then I have Bridget. I started off with this foam head that I got at a craft store, and it worked, but then I saw this at a vintage store, and I mean, hello, I had to get her because she's just beautiful. I actually have two Bridgets. Don't ask why, but I just have two of her. I use Bridget to set my focus. Wherever I'm gonna be standing, I put her on a tripod, I adjust it to my height, whether I'm sitting or standing. I put her in place and then I set my focus with my camera. Some of my cameras, they do have autofocus, but I do not trust it. I trust Bridget, and that is how I get the best focus every single time. Sometimes Bridget, you know, she's got other things to do, so I have just used my tripod as a stand-in to set my focus. You don't have to have Bridget or the styrofoam head. You can just use a tripod and set your focus that way. So this is my whole method, start to finish. I will set up my camera on a tripod, plug in the cable shutter release, set the self timer, put Bridget where I am going to be either sitting or standing, adjust the focus, make sure my lighting is correct. Then I will go in place where Bridget is, move her out of the way, fire off the cable shutter release, strike a pose, and hope for the best. 99% of the time, the photos come out amazing unless I'm making a weird face or my eyes are closed. But I feel like when you're using the self timer and the cable shutter release, that ensures you have enough time to make sure your eyes are open and you're making a cute face. And that is my whole method when it comes to taking self-portraits on my film cameras. I hope this video helped you guys if you were looking to take some self-portraits of yourself. If you have any questions, let me know and I will answer them the best that I can. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.